There's a poltergeist of exclusivity in your Nintendo systems. Ooh, spooky. Here's 5 reasons. Happy Halloween! It's me, Roger the Retro Gaming Puppet, and this year for 5 reasons, we're going to be looking at 5 creepy games on Nintendo platforms that never left their original hardware. Now, just like we did last year with SEGA, we're going to be looking at these in chronological order by system. We'll start with the NES and make our way up to the original Wii. And, yeah. Hey, let's get right to it. Let's get haunting. Here's 5 spooky reasons to own Nintendo hardware. That's right, even though we've done a full Halloween 5 reasons just on NES titles, we're kicking this list off with another one. It's Friday the 13th, one of a surprising number of horror movie games released on the old gray box. This one sees you as 6 counselors at Camp Crystal Lake out to stop Jason before he kills your friends and the kids at the camp. The game is lambasted far and wide, but it's actually not that bad. If you want a deeper look, Joe took on this one as part of this year's Same Name, Different Game Halloween episode. It's not that expensive these days, and while the fact that it's a licensed title coupled with the fact that the publisher went under years ago means that it's unlikely to get any kind of official re-release anytime soon. So hey, grab a copy if you still got your NES. Otherwise, you know, there are other ways. It's really not as bad as you might have heard. The Castlevania games are pretty well available these days. The original NES trilogy is available on Wii, Wii U, and 3DS Virtual Console. Both of the Super Nintendo games are out there. The PC Engine Dracula X is out on 2 platforms for US consumption. The GBA trilogy is on Wii U now. Heck, even Castlevania the Adventure is on the 3DS Virtual Console, which is why it's kind of a mystery that this game isn't. Castlevania II Belmonts Revenge is the vastly superior sequel to Adventure, making Christopher Belmont much more mobile, giving him sub-weapons, even if only 2 of them, and allowing you to take on the first 4 stages in any order. It's still fairly slow to make up for the blur of the original Game Boy screen, but it remains eminently playable. It was bundled with 3 other Konami Game Boy games as part of the Konami GB Collection, Volume 3 in Japan and Volume 4 in Europe, with the European version having color compatibility. But these are still Game Boy carts, so the titles never left that platform. If you're a Castlevania fan and a handheld enthusiast, check this one out. The music is great, the level designs are fun, and overall it's the best pre-GBA handheld Castlevania game out there. Unfortunately, the original cart is getting up there in price, especially by Game Boy standards, in the $30 to $50 range. And these Konami GB Collection cartridges aren't getting any cheaper either, so, well, might be time to warm up those flash carts. I've talked at greater length about this game, but suffice to say, it rules. It's a wonderful little side-scrolling horror gem on the Super Famicom, and anyone who's a fan of Castlevania or Ghouls and Ghosts owes it to themselves to check this one out. You play as Abel, a man out for revenge on the demons who killed his wife and are planning to sacrifice his daughter. Abel has several demon transformations, 7 in total, that he can use to fight the demons, each with unique attacks and advantages. You'll need to play through the game at least 4 times to see all of them, but rest assured it's a good time, and while not a super stiff challenge, it's not a walk in the park either. This game also has 2 different endings, depending on how you come into the final battle. This one was only released in Japan, but there is a fan translation, and given the frankly obscene cost of a cart these days, emulation or a flash cart is 100% the way to go anyways. Coming from the minds at Way Forward, Aliens Infestation plays as a direct sequel to James Cameron's 1986 masterpiece, seeing you in control of a company of colonial marines sent to investigate the Sulaco after everyone on board seemingly disappeared. This game is a Metroidvania, and quite honestly it was about time, given that the Alien franchise was a pretty significant influence on one of the subgenre's originators. There's not really anything groundbreaking here, but it's a solid entry in the canon of exploratory 2D action games. The art style is fantastic, the music is decent, and the controls are tight. Its biggest sin is its brevity, clocking in between 6 and 8 hours, though for my part, I think that's a fine length for a portable adventure. And it definitely doesn't overstay its welcome, unlike its execrable console counterpart, Aliens: Colonial Marines. Unfortunately, this one didn't cause too much of a stir at the time, but now it seems to have curried some favor in the community, so it's fetching upwards of $50 for a used copy. Yeah, ain't that always the way. Not too much to pay for one of the top 5 Alien games of all time, possibly even top 3, but still a bit of change, so if you don't have deep pockets, emulation may be the way to go. It's another Castlevania game, and another one starring Christopher Belmont. So yeah, like I said earlier in the episode, Castlevania The Adventure was originally a pretty rough game that I honestly can't recommend going back to, so it's really awesome that Konami let M2, best known for their work on some of the best commercial emulation on the market, work a remake into their Rebirth series. Arguably the best of the 3 Rebirth titles, this is really Castlevania The Adventure in name only. The level designs are now totally changed and have branching pathways and key items often needed to access them. They added sub-weapons, which the original adventure lacked, the music is absolutely top-notch, and this is all in a package that only costs $10. And hey, get on that, because Nintendo just announced that the Wii Shop channel was going away soon. Grab it while you got the chance. I mean, you would hope that Konami would release like a Switch cartridge with all 3 of the Rebirth games on it or something like that, but come on, this is Konami we're talking about, so don't hold your breath. Just grab it now so it doesn't become an issue later. And that does it. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Roger the Retro Gaming Puppet, and make sure to come back later this month because we'll be rounding out October with an episode of obscure, old games just for the holiday. See you then!